Hello, sports fans. Mauricio here. Well, this video is going to be about calling a stored procedure. Let me just slide right to it. We're going to create a command, SQL command. That's a ADO.NET object. We are using ADO.NET objects because we can retrieve them. By the way, the real name of that object called the SQL command is really data dot boy system.data system.data.SQL client. Boy, I really love this IntelliSense, by the way. So that's really the name of this thing. By the way, we use the word new most of the time when you use ADO.NET object, active data objects. ADO.NET was invented about 2005 by Microsoft. So before then, there was all sorts of weird generic ways to connect a web page to a database. Microsoft realized this is a problem, and so they invented this whole standard or set of objects called active data objects. They're another set of objects inside the ASP.NET. So by the way, this ASP.NET, or should I say Visual Studio, is about 10,000 classes or objects and a compiler. So we're using system.data lately to get this new data table, and system.data.SQL client to gain access to these objects like a SQL command, like a SQL connection. And so we're going to run the command which runs the stored procedure over the SQL connection. Say it with me. But just to mention, there's a ton of other objects inside Visual Studio, system.math. I think there's a security. So I saw someone write, I don't even know, MD5 hashing is inside here, system.security. So there's all other things, but we're going to stick with system.data. But because we import, it's kind of shortcut to these objects inside Visual Studio.NET. We don't have to put the whole fully qualified name there. We could just use the SQL command. So we're going to use this SQL command object to run. So the command objects run over a connection. It's a stored procedure, and then you just have to put in the name here of the stored procedure. So we're going to reach back into our SQL. Let's see if we could see that. So if we bring up the Server Explorer, I can see our tables. Holy smokes, I could see the stored procedures too. And I could even see if they have any input parameters. That's a whole nother video dealing with input parameters. It's not hard. But let's see. The first one I want to get here is called Generate Customer Product Analysis. So SP Generate Customer. Yeah, so it's right there. So that's pretty nice. And there's... that's interesting. So I wonder what it looks like if you, yeah, all right. So that stored procedure has input parameters. So that's very nice. But I still don't think you could drag them onto the form. So you have to type it out. But it's nice to see inside the Server Explorer inside. So we can peek into the file structure of our database using this Server Explorer window inside ASP.NET. So we can see our tables, which is nice because that means you could see the columns, and that's nice later when we enter, use our web page to enter data and stuff like that. But we're going to call 4 of these, or I think 6 of these stored procedures. So this video is like, how do you do that? And then the next video, I'll probably have 1 or 2 videos. I'm just going to recap those select group by statements that have subqueries, just so you can just refresh on that. By the way, you are more than welcome to change the speed of these videos and the clarity, the resolution, bits per second, to make it clearer. But I do talk slow. I do it on purpose. So I speak to be understood. I got that from Mark Twain. Speak to be understood, not at the speed you want to. So you can put me faster, though. That's totally fine. And all right, so now you know what we're going to do. We're going to create the commands. We're going to specify. So this ASP.NET command is going to specify one specific SQL stored procedure. And I'll make all these stored procedures available in a doc file if you haven't put those in yet. So that's a little bit more work. But maybe I'll just put it so you can just copy and paste them. But I'll figure that out. So we're going to have 6 of those because I'm going to run 6 different stored procedures. I made comment in a announcement or somewhere yesterday. This content is all going to look hard and WTF, and then in about 2 weeks or 3 weeks you're going to get bored because it's very repetitive. But as this content I show you here becomes boring, well, then other harder content is coming at you. Not really harder, but so whatever you think about this content being hard now, in a couple of weeks you'll say, oh, it's easy. All right, so you make the command, then you use a try-catch block. A try-catch block, you run the code. You put the code there that you wish works well, and then it catches an error and then shows you the error without showing you the yellow screen of death, the error screen. By the way, I'm glad we thought about that. It is a very good idea to, whenever you make a new web page, it does this automatically, but not always. So I like to just type debug equals true, just to make sure that you're getting the error messages. And it'll give you an error message like line 16 has this error. Well, that's very helpful. So I usually type debug equals true somewhere in the middle of this first line here. In the ASPX GUI page, graphical user interface, there's our link buttons. But normally you keep that in design mode. So you put all that code in the try section. Try. Well, first we open the connection to the database, and that connection is the connection that you typed in here. And so this connection uses your the integrated security that's provided. You don't have to type in a password. When you log in to the virtual desktop, that same password is used. So that's a pretty good, smart way of doing it. So good job, Eric, the IT guy in Pullman. All right, so you open the connection, and then you run. You got your command, and then you just run it. Execute non-query means, run this SQL, but it's not a query. Well, it is a query. But we do it. It is going to give us back a data set. So we'll run that, and we'll talk more about that in depth. But we have a try-catch block here. So So I'm going to have 6 of those. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I did that the wrong way, but I'm going to have, by the way, I like to go bottom up. See, the IntelliSense pops up at the bottom, so it's easier often with lists to go from the bottom up. But we'll get the names in here in a minute. So we're going to run 6 commands, SQL commands. So the syntax is a little problematic. We're going to use SQL commands to run SQL stored procedures inside a try-catch block, and then we close the connection. So that's our plan. That's our plan for, it's going to take a few videos here, but let me at least do something useful in this video other than just explain everything. All right, so let me run this. And we'll just refresh on what we have so far. Let me show you a trick to comment out this code. So you just highlight it, and it's just this one here. This one is uncomment. All right, so again, this is a tabbed interface or similar. That's all I have for you for an interface. However, these link buttons, which is an internal button, and it's just a button like any other button, but it looks like a link, so at least it's clean looking. But those could be image buttons, so we can have a little picture on each of these to click on. That actually looks kind of nice. But I'm going to put I'm going to change this out now, but I'm going to put a bunch of grid views in here to display the 6 analysis that I want to run. So again, we have a connection. We have 4 arrays. We're going to load data into the arrays, and I want to see the I don't want to see line items. That's too much. So I want to see sales summary. So let's go ahead and change that. So sometimes the overhead of making a command, making a try-catch block is too much. It's just like, so you could just do it an easy way. A data adapter can run a SQL command. Then the data adapter fills the array. The array is a data table, called a data table, but it's a strongly typed array, which is nice because every column can be a different data type. But I put G for global because these are public shared objects, which means any procedure can touch them and influence them, draw from them. So we have a connection, we have a data adapter which runs over the connection, and so it's running our SQL statement over the connection. By the way, I still recommend testing your SQL statement in SSMS first before you put it into a data adapter. Data adapters, by the way, we will only use those for select statements. When we do inserts, updates, and deletes, we'll use this other thing called a SQL command. But I just lied to you. So we're going to use a SQL command to also run a select statement. But it's going to be from the stored procedure that we want. So, but this is a simple way to select data. It could be a filter. It could have a group by. It could have a where statement. It can have a lot. But let me just run this again. You could see that the data changed. So now on this sales page, I don't see the products. I just see the 1 row per sale, which is what we want. See you in the next video.